Hello, hello, everyone. We're here. We're not queer, and we're playing Suzerain again. What happened last time? Let's continue. Hello, Hutch.
Hey everybody, thanks for coming back. My computer is broken, sorry for the long pause.
Yeah, we're gonna resume again. Let's see what we're dealing with. I think we went through the christening of the king.
That was, I think, 2 episodes ago, right? We went to the christening, the
Yeah.
religious thing. And we had some policy meetings since
Yeah,
we signed some bills in, spent a lot of money.
but we got some money back.
We spent a lot of authority and energy, that's what we spent.
Yeah, but we're gonna have like another 10 where we'll have pluses, so that's good.
Yeah. What was our strategy?
We gotta
energy, just common sense shit.
military. I mean, the problem is that this little military, there's a problem which we don't know if Velen's gonna give us the territory back. We got a country that just joined the big alliance.
Which one was that? Was it Morella? Or the one to our north, Lesbia?
It was Lesbia.
Friends with the capitalists, the American country.
Yeah, we're doing the ancient city restoration. We're gonna have Hyperborea.
Yep. Palas we're trying to be friends with. We have 2 different religious sects in our country. We're trying to consume them into one.
Yep. We got students at Isa University led a walkout yesterday, purportedly in solidarity with Vezhik and Durian labor hands. A representative of the youth-led movement called for a comprehensive review and reform of the policy, emphasizing the need for equitable treatment of all workers within Rizzia. And now we're going to be investing in the Rizzian football industry. I think this might...
We have a good football team, I think.
Oh, we could actually use budget. Look at this one. So let's go. I'll read the official stuff. Investing in the Rizzian Football Federation. The Rizzian Football Federation is at a crossroads. Real Montaclar remains a global icon, while FC Port-Raison, an ambitious but smaller club, struggles in their shadow. The choice of investment strategy could significantly influence the future trajectory of Rizzian football, either by bolstering the prestige of an already renowned club or by nurturing emerging talents to foster a more competitive domestic landscape. We could honestly, I mean, do we even want to do this? Because, this is not something we're focusing in at all.
It's true. This is kind of out of left field. At the same time, this is Chud play.
I think Chud's... I mean, this is like what do we call it? This is... this is the circuses, bread and circuses.
Yes, they love their football team.
Yeah, but look, the little Port-Raison, it's ambitious. We don't need to give them money. If we give them money, we're going to destroy their ambition, I think. But if we give... And, Montaclar is a global icon. They don't need government funding. If they want government funding, maybe they should go into the armed forces. That's what they should do.
Yeah, why are we subsidizing our sports teams?
Exactly. I mean...
They sound like they're fine.
Yeah.
It'd be one thing if they are having some serious distress.
We're not investing. But, look at this. We got Rizzian Armed Forces, if you remember.
Production.
Yeah, we could choose what to do. If you remember, they said that we're okay with not enough resources for submarines. We need ships, actually. We're ship nation. We got militias. That's kind of cool. Paratroopers, Golden Guard, 0, but that's not really true. I think, do we look at this. We can train stuff, basically. But for some reason, it needs 2 submarines to train 1 submarine. Very strange.
Yeah, what does that mean, huh? That's weird. How do we ever get one? Oh, well. Military ship. Yeah, do we have resources?
Yeah, you see here, we got manpower, things, battleships. You see submarines. This is like a battle submarine. And you need two normal submarines to make one. These are 1 second. These aren't like things. They're fleets, So a submarine fleet is made up of 2 submarines.
But it's kind of like chicken or egg. So we obviously don't understand the mechanics.
Yeah. Well, I think we'll just go. Let's do. Look at this. We got 2 battleships. We could make a military ship fleet. Let's do that. We got 1 already. We'll bolster it, and then we'll have the tank. 1 tank, and we'll train them. Yes. Royal decrees. Okay, we got.
We can't do anything. We don't have any resources.
Yeah, let's see. I got small initial. We could actually do this. We could use our budget for a small initial global energy purchase.
That's not worth it.
But oh man, look at this. Look at how much stuff we can do. Well, I think that's like next turn, because this is what we enacted last time. This was sovereign transition and clemency. Remove income
tax.
We removed income tax. That's gonna make our, and we privatized welfare. So we're, it's uncapped land. And this is like, we'll get tourism, but everyone was okay with it. She didn't care. But okay, let's go. Let's see what else we got. Continue. This is next turn, right? Yeah, the Golden Kingdom.
We probably should have trained more. We left a lot of resources on the table.
Yeah, but they're like still people. If we look here and see, oh, look at this. We got money back. So if you have Rizzia, we still have them. They're not like disappearing into the ether. For example, we got trucks, right? But we could probably save it. Like maybe we'll have like an opportunity to do something with all of this,
Yeah, it seems like there's a cap to the amount of things you can train or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the number at the bottom. Okay, maybe you already understood that. I didn't understand.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. Yeah. But we got authority, we got budget, we got energy. What we could do is we could wait. So look at this one. We could do extensive geological survey initiative. Launching a detailed geological survey, the kingdom meticulously explores its territories for latent mineral resources, delving into the hidden depths of Rizzia's landscapes. A considerable financial and authoritative investment is directed towards unearthing potential treasures concealed beneath the nation's crust. While the tangible outcomes remain enveloped in the mysteries of geological exploration, the latent prospect of discovering new mines hints at promising economic advancements. In fact, everyone kind of likes it. I mean, he doesn't care, but yeah.
Oh, the grand wine, sure.
The significant decree signals a bold stride towards uncharted economic opportunities, pivoting on the anticipated bounties concealed beneath.
Yeah, there's so many things to do.
Yeah, tax credits. But once again, authority. This is all authority, budget. This is just giving stuff money away one time. Oh, look at this. It's your favorite. It's the great American RPP proposals, also known as
Stimmy check.
A stimmy check, yeah, or a crab legs check, yeah. Where be my stimmy check? Is we getting out brief candle.
Alright, open this up. What does it say?
Let's see. -2 authority, -3 budget. One-time financial stimulus. It seems like the worst possible thing. This is just reparations. Who are we even giving reparations to at this point? Housing for the poor initiative. Man, there's so much. Look at this. Impose equal...
Legalize illegal substances.
Oh, look at this. Everyone hates it. Oh, man. This could be very funny, though. The state, in a landmark decision, decrees the legalization of substances previously classified as illegal. This transformative policy is aimed at reducing the burden on the judicial system, undermining illicit trade, and promoting responsible use through regulation. Funds formerly allocated for enforcement will be redirected towards education, addiction treatment programs, and public health initiatives. This measure recognizes the shifting societal perspective on substance use and prioritizes harm reduction.
Yeah, I don't want to auto lose. I'm good.
Yeah, it's just gonna be Seattle.
Yeah.
It's very funny. Man, it's crazy that they even like put that in there. Oh, look at this one. We could
Ooh,
actually,
we can buy military stuff.
yeah, we could sell
How much?
even.
Yeah, too. How much? That's really cool. How much does a plane cost, for example?
Minus three authority, minus five budget, but we do get instant air fleet. Um,
Yeah, I don't know if we have much of an air force.
uh,
So
yeah.
we invested in our navy. Remember that we could invest in air force or navy.
Mm-hmm. If we
So
look here, it is one. We got one fleet.
that's a submarine.
Oops. Where's the Air Force?
Oh, down. Okay.
No, nothing here. Marine, mercenary, flagship, levies, paratroopers. Very strange. Oh, we could
We don't have
probably.
any planes. That's a problem.
Yeah, we need to probably like just decree it. Look at how much stuff there is. Support.
We can build factories for your military.
Mm-hmm.
Establish Roma's daughters.
Hospital.
Hospital.
Yeah, we got stuff too. Roma's Taurus Military Academy. Offshore gas field, yeah?
Oh, we were looking at that offshore gas field because their energy. We only get +2 energy around.
But it's a 3-turn construction. So it's a long. But it is -1 authority, so it's actually pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's pretty cheap on authority wise.
I think what we might do is we might go through like all the conversations. Then when there's the continue, then we'll see if we buy it.
I think that's smart. Let's get a good idea of what's going on.
We'll sell military planes. We don't have an air fleet. Support, tank, submarine. We're gonna sell something we don't have? Are we?
You'd think it would at least say 0. But it doesn't even say 0.
No
It's like we
idea.
Tree, I don't know.
Energy heating subsidies. It's weird how we don't know, like, they just tell, oh, you like do this thing, but there's nothing like +1, I don't know, cohesion in the empire. We could lower conscription age, actually. Be interesting, but we get military manpower. Conscription duration. The problem here is that we don't know what's gonna happen, so look at this. They don't like it. It's weird that they say, that, oh, these guys are like, they're important, they're serving you, but we don't know. I mean, we really don't know. We know that probably this guy is like, he's our cousin. He's probably good. Who knows? Non-racist. -4 authority. Okay, cool. Took a look at this. Let's see. We got Nelvizar.
Chat. Oil field closure.
A significant chapter in Rizzia's oil history is drawing to a close. The Nelvizar oil field at Folce-d'Ator, an instrumental asset since its discovery in 1895, faces imminent shutdown. Despite the depletion of its once abundant reserves, the field has continually played a role in meeting Rizzia's oil demand. Under the unwavering management of Rizzian oil and gas, the field has stood the test of time, but nature's limits are becoming evident.
Wow.
Ooh. Well, we'll do.
Where one closes, another opens. Why
No.
not?
+1. Yeesh.
That decreased. Damn.
Yeah, no money. No money. Situation of lost territory. Average power projection. Mixed global image. Yeah, but we don't know. Oh man, the legalized nuclear drugs is so funny. It's just
Nuclear truck.
yeah. Expand border guards. -1 tourism. Probably not. We could make Ancapistan. Legalize drugs. Give everyone money. Whatever. Read the report. Oh, oil workers in Nelvisar organize a commemoration for the closing field, marked with a parade of the workers through the town and a large gala held in their honor. While some will keep their jobs for the foreseeable future as operations wind down, many are now unemployed and have to look elsewhere for employment. So we might actually like open up that thing.
Yeah. I think our priorities should be, like, culturally, it seems we're okay. You know, we don't really have any rising rebellions or anything.
Budget is also okay. We gotta.
Budget be healthy. I think increase our energy production and increase our domestic production.
Okay.
We know how this game works. Lesbia's gonna want to kill us, or someone's gonna want to kill us.
Definitely.
Right?
Okay, let's see.
Okay. The day of my Foreign Policy Council meeting had arrived, and it was a hot one. The fans in Palas Resna provided little relief. I decided to take in some fresh air in the palace gardens. Babel had hired a new groundskeeper who faithfully maintained his father's arrangements. Before he was my butler, my friend had explained to me that the plants and flowers here were laid out geographically. Riken ferns in the east, Xenon lilies to the south, a Rumberg-style rose garden in the north. To the west was a labyrinthine hedge maze made of laurels donated from the kingdom of Narbur. I spent a while wandering around, then returned to the middle of the garden where a series of stone sculptures were surrounded by Rizzian palms and succulents. That sounds great. To my left, I saw Vina reading a book on a bench beneath a decorative stone arch. In the date palm grove to my right, I caught a glimpse of my mother. Let's talk to Vina.
Yeah.
I made my way to the stone arch and sat down next to my daughter.
Oh!
Is that you?
Yeah, that's me. Oh!
Sorry.
Hello, father.
I'm just gonna be a normal person.
Yeah.
Good to see you outside of the council chambers. Do you have any questions about the past few meetings?
I have plenty, but I'll figure them out on my own time. All this council stuff is old hat for you, isn't it? You've even served with some of the same people before.
I'm different now. It's different now that I'm the one in charge.
I can't imagine how it feels to hold all that power. What do you think of the House of Delegates? Will you go talk to them?
That's our, like, fake democracy, right?
Yeah, it's weird. It's like both like recommendations.
Yeah.
You kind of have to like go and talk to them. I think we, if we haven't talked to them, we probably should. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe there's someone there that's like interesting. Oh man, this one's cringe, but it's for the other guy. If you remember,
Number 3 is kind of like a red pill for Vina.
Yeah, it's pretty good too.
The only reason I would do that is to find out the opposition's weaknesses. Let's see how she responds.
Why do you have it out for House Suzerain? Just because one duke plotted against the king doesn't mean the whole family is evil. Oh, this one's very based. Look at read 4.
Yeah, 4 is good. Yeah. I'm not against the opposition because of House Suzerain. I'm against it because it's the opposition.
Oh, right.
A clock chimed in the distance. Dang! It was time for the meeting.
2 is cute.
Yeah, 2 is cute. Alright, lead the way, Your Highness. As Vina and I walked into the council chambers, we found the other councillors already there, deep in conversation. I think this is me.
Yeah.
A superpower suddenly taking an interest in this part of the continent. What's next? All of our children will have to learn I gotta remember the voice and channel it.
He's kind of like,
I think it was like this.
yeah.
The decision wasn't made with any ill intent towards Rizzia. There are greater global forces at work than what's happening in our corner of South Mercopa.
What the superpowers decide affects us, Mr. Esquivel. Their intent is of no importance.
Care to catch me up? The three of them noticed me and fell silent. Excuse us, Your Majesty. We were just discussing the recent news concerning Lesbia's membership in ATO.
Maybe 3,
Well,
right?
I kind of like
Yeah.
2
Okay.
in the sense, like, what are they up to? We should figure that out.
Mhm.
I agree with Zara. We should be. I don't think we should be very concerned, but we should be very concerned. Why do you believe that, Your Majesty?
Ooh.
Orcasia, 2 or 3.
Well, even 4 really. Like it's, I don't know.
Just a vibe.
Yeah, just vibes.
Pick it, Bobby.
I think we'll go 3. Well,
Southern Maricopa cannot be allowed to fall under the influence of superpowers. We ought to be our own superpower.
speaking of influence, here's kind of an interesting thing. So, if you remember, I talked to you a little bit about the T Squad, about like Scrump and Evelyn and all those people. They are absolutely horrid to be around, and in their Discord channel, just like they're full of the worst kind of mutants you could find. But there is something really important that they've been kind of talking about. No one else has been listening. Is that there are certain operations that exist to sap you and that use you. And even if at the end of the day, like your voice or the voice of really like the plebs doesn't really count, you're still kind of responsible. You become dragged into this like bullshit. And like I couldn't really understand it, but then like I got, I really did. It's when the news cycles get produced, and they are cringe news cycles, reacting to even their presence is already you participating in this game. So for example, they have the whole England thing with the, what are they called, with the gangs, right? The molestation gangs.
Yeah.
And even if you like any other normal person think that this is horrible, when the message is emitted by evil shits in the government, you shouldn't actually like double that the reach of that message. You shouldn't like go and say, oh, this is something good that the government is doing, or like, oh, we really need this inquiry, because you're right now you're like sitting there and you're helping the most awful people that really don't they brought all of this, they created all of this, and in that thing, that is where the T Squad says that you have to emit your own messages, you have to emit your own news cycles when there's something you care about, instead of jumping on this bandwagon of death by people who hate you. You shouldn't take that message. You should have your own message that includes that issue, sure, but it should be constructed in such a way that like they can't just take it over. If you have like a simple slogan of like, no more R gangs. I'm not saying the word on YouTube, but they can
Repeat gangs?
yeah exactly, repeat gangs, yeah. But you shouldn't just have that. You should have, and we want we want our people first. You should make it actually. You should make all these slogans, all these cycles, in a way that they can't overtake it. They can't corrupt it. Stay on target. And that's what the problem, why they're being so awful to everyone, is because every time the government does something that you approve of, everyone just jumps back in. Everyone's like, oh yeah, we should support this message. We should support this politician. Or I don't know if you've seen it, but what Sargon did is where he just straight up was like, oh yeah, I don't care that Nige betrayed me personally and my friends and threw us out of the party. I'm still with him. I'm going to London. I'm going to all the the supporting Tommy Robinson because it's unfair. It's unfair. He's been imprisoned unfairly. But he's still getting onto that wave. He's still with them at that point. He's still, even in a little way, he's still helping this stuff continue. And in a way, this is a message that is very Christian at its core. And why a lot of Christian societies, a lot of Christian communities decline to participate in politics. Is because when you vote, even if it doesn't matter, you still kind of, in your soul, you're still saying, oh, I am part of this now. And you shouldn't be part of this because it's bad. And here's where the ideas of policy and politics deviate. Where politics or policy, right? Let's talk about policy. Policy is a compendium of things that you think need to happen. It is public projects. It is the opinions that you want your family to have. It is the aesthetics that you want to see. But politics is just about winning. And it is just about, it is almost mathematic in its cruelty. If something makes you win, and makes the other guy lose, you do it. If not raising an issue now makes you win later, you do it. If you need to eliminate these people, you do it. And then once you're at top, once you actually can decide policy, right? We're always mixing those words up, and I think it's for a reason, to make them meld. To have no distinctions between them when they should have distinction. It's when you're on top, you can actually do policy that you want to. You can actually correct those wrongs. But the way of getting there is you're in a way you're becoming all of these people, because all you need is win. And this is, once again, this is the T Squad, they say it very frequently that if you don't want to engage in actual politics, then you should leave and you will have a much better life with this. But if you do engage in politics, you have to be ruthless and you have to probably not follow your your beliefs. And this is once again a very Christian thing. Because Muslims, right, they can say, oh, well, this is all really for the sword of Islam, right? Or the Buddhists, they can just say, oh, well, nothing exists, right? Or the Hindus, I don't know, the Hindus might create a politics god that they worship, and that's why they say. But Christians have a very, very clear set of things they must do and things they must not do. And you see all these people like Oron, for example, that at this point we kind of know that he is, we know the people he works with, and we know the organization that he helps propagate, and his show is fairly popular there, and the Blaze TV are not good people, They are like crazy boomers that want like war and destruction to, American populations. But he still sits on their network and still has like his show. And even if he says, "Oh, well, I don't want to approve of this, I don't want this," he's still there. He's still bringing the money. He's still bringing people there. He's still amplifying their message. And he's, at the end of the day, when they tell him to jump, he will jump. And so that's the big kind of, this is why they're being horrid to everyone, is because they're seeing people ally even for a second with all of this garbage. And that's what no one understands, is that you have to not react in any way to anything that comes out of mainstream politics. And you should have your own things that you emit that then you can place people within your sphere of influence, make them follow your cycles, make them amplify your message, and then slowly but surely you will just have like people that follow you. And when someone follows you, of course, like you gain a little bit of powers that at least you can tell them to do very simple things like retweet your tweet. But power is making other people do the things you want. And if it just starts with retweet this, that's already power. And this is like actually you're slowly winning. You're not imaginary winning. You're like slowly, people are doing what you want them to do.
Yeah, I see their points. I think they probably apply better to British politics than American. Not because of some abstract reason, but that the American online right Twitter sphere does seem to be able to control news cycles here and there. For example, the Haitian town in Ohio, right? That was a completely online right Twitter sphere created news cycle. In 2 days, it went straight to the presidential debate. Or when that one staffer got fired and the movement to get him rehired, maybe he was an op, maybe, I don't know, but the movement to get him rehired started with this same kind of environment. While in British politics, that's inconceivable, right? That loop, those connections aren't there at all. I see their points, and I think it is important not to be reactive in news cycles and to try and set the frame.
Yeah.
Among other things, right? It's not just that. So they do have some points. I don't agree that engaging in politics and having to be a bit of Machiavellian in that route. Let me be more precise, do things that don't align with your true beliefs. For example, if you're trying to gain power in the conservative party in America, right, the Republican Party, you're not going to be able to be too honest about a certain country in the Middle East, right? But enough people who feel that way are slowly infiltrating that. The line is slowly bubbling to one direction for a bit. Not that much, but you can talk more openly about it than you could earlier. So, I think they're despairing a bit too much, but I see where they're coming from.
Yeah, and they're obviously anti-American, seeming as they're European.
Yeah, they think it's eternally evil for us, It's just like, okay.
Yeah, it's true. For me being a Russian, it is easier to imagine the good America and the bad America, because there was a time when America seriously helped with starvation in Russia, where they, during the World War II, they basically funded the entire Russian army.
Yeah, right.
All of that stuff. But I think that if the past is anything to go by, things like Old Glory Club, they might just by sheer randomness get into positions of emittance where they will say something and then people will follow to that, and other elites will grab those things, and like eventually they will become elites. But of course, and especially now when you look at like Trump under a microscope and what's happening now, is that there's a strange flowing there's basically multiple flows that seemingly flow from different directions but actually end up at the same point, like you see now with a ton of people from Ukraine's side and a ton of people from like pro-Trump side are both saying, oh, the war in Ukraine is over. The war in Ukraine is over. But it's not. It's not. Like, people are still shooting each other right now. There are drones dropping bombs. It's not over. You know, they say we don't even know what the rules are going to be. We don't even know if they'll agree on stopping the war. Anything can happen. And this is not the first time something similar like that has happened, which is the USAID stuff. They freeze the fund on all foreign aid and funding for USAID. And a bunch of people are just saying, oh, USAID is over, USAID is over. But it's not over. The organ is still there. In fact, Marco Rubio is its director. And if you've seen his latest interviews, he's like, oh, we might delete it, but like, we don't know. But, you know, it's still there. And the funding, it hasn't been frozen because the judge said no. And then Trump and his team rescinded the order. And then they haven't actually. They rescinded it for a week, and now they're fighting it in court. But it's still flowing. The money is still flowing.
I don't know. I think it's still frozen.
Well, that's the thing. The judge said no. It's not frozen. It will only be frozen when they battle it out in court.
So the judge, I'm pretty sure the way he did it, they found another way to freeze it around it. For some weird. So this part is tricky because there's just so many different little tiny maneuvers going on in the actual implementation of these things right now. It's hard to tell what the fuck is going on.
Yeah, but it's not like, you know, it's not like, oh, we won. It's winning. No. Right? Because it's
better than we've seen, right?
Things are happening, but none of those things are concluding in a positive direction. That's the thing, and of course, you have to look at go ahead.
Yeah, they have to finish the job. They got to double tap, you know.
No, yeah.
Ahead, you know, these kind of organizations and set up serious.
Well, if you think about the change, the classic change of the regimes, there is always a circulation of the elites. Now, can we say that there has been a definitive circulation of the elites now?
In the past month, no.
Okay, so obviously, right, past month, but like, let's say. So, for example, the positive things is that Elon Musk got a bunch of young, autists that are just now doing struggle sessions for a bunch of federal employees, which is pretty good. It's very, very good indication of the circulation of the elites, and because, this, in a lot of ways, this is if you've seen the hidden videos, that looks kind of like the Chinese Cultural Revolution. But I mean, you have to. I mean, they ate people during the Chinese Cultural Revolution. There was cannibalism.
Have you seen that guy Stephen Chung?
No.
That's why they brought him in. He's gonna be.
He's gonna eat them. It's cool. He just jumps from the. What do they call the chair, you know, because it goes up, it's like a tribune. He just jumps from the upper levels and rips out his throat, just starts eating him on scene.
Yeah. Yeah, the pardon doesn't keep you from being eaten.
Yeah, but like that's something that always happens in any time. Now, sure, some people might get like exiled, but like a ton of people die straight up. They get shot, and
Yeah.
it's not looking like there's any. I'm not hearing any reloading happening. I'm not hearing the empty shells dropping, and that's concerning. That's like, because like, a ton of these people are like fucking evil.
Yeah.
And they've been, and the worst part is, and this is something like I've talked to Dave or Dale, not Dave, but Calf King Paul or Paul Fahrenheit, and his name is Dale. He's now Calf King Dale, and I've been speaking to him about this, and I've been, one of the things that we kind of agreed on is that America for the past 150 years has for some reason been on a warpath with its own civilian population.
Yeah.
Like, and in Russia, there have been periods where that happened. For example, in the Soviet Union, from about 1917 to like 1920 something, there were like, the deculakization procedures.
Sure.
And then there was like a period of respite. And then, like, just before the Second World War, mass purges again, right, of the military variety. There's a famous movie about it. It's called the Tired Sun, or the Tired by the Sun. Very famous, very Russian movie where people just get shot at the end. But the whole movie is just, huh?
It's lovely.
It's a lovely movie, actually. It's really good, but you don't expect the stuff that happens at the end. Basically, it's all just like, oh, it's vacation. They're swimming. They're having a barbecue. They're grilling. It's their, and then bam, bam. The secret police comes in. But then, like after the Second World War, and especially after the death of Stalin, things are pretty good for the Russian civilian population. And for some people in the countryside, things really, like, that weren't rich, things really never stopped being, like, great. For example, my grandmother, her mother had a farm that produced, like, little furs from, the long rat thing that you can also train. What do you call it? Like a
maybe like a ferret.
Ferret, yeah, ferret farm. They had a butter machine from like an artifact from the 19th century, like a massive butter machine made by, I don't know, Germans or something. Because
that sounds good.
yeah, and they've been and consistently they've been like operating since like the 1920s or something. Just up until like the 90s, and like after that time, Russia wasn't at war with its civilian population. Then, everything fell. 90s, terrible times, right? Then you had wars. But in general, it has not been at war with its civilian population, especially the Russian population, which is 80% of Russia. But when you look at the United States, you see that not only did they obviously have, like, the civil war against the southern states, which then you had the Reconstruction period, which was kind of like a genocide, where they like just torched shit and killed people en masse. But also you've had continuous horrible policy decisions, like economic ones, that just made large swathes of the country poor. And then, the whole fentanyl problem, which Americans like to talk about, like China or even Russia supplying the drugs. But the core of the problem is in the doctors that prescribe painkillers. And all of that, like, if you think about it, like, in isolation, you're like, well, they prescribe painkillers to anyone. But then you see that, well, who's suffering the most? Oh, it's like the southern populations. They just get all this stuff. And of course the propaganda, right? The rednecks, the horror movies that were produced.
Sure.
and you see similar things in England, right, where like they had rationing up until what, the 60s. A bunch of that, like really really bad stuff that I mean, how, like, why? And so, yeah, I don't know, you could probably even see COVID as that, because like all of that stuff that happened, because in Russia it only lasted like 2 weeks, and what was it like? It was very few Russians got vaccinated, something around 20%. But if you look at the CDC now, and then you see how many people got vaccinated in America with all these weird mRNA things, it's over 80%.
Wow. I figured it was high. I never really actually looked at the real number in a bit. That sounds about right.
So yeah, and I mean, is Trump? People made some noise about him removing guards from Fauci, but I mean, nothing's happening to him, right? And he's had like a bunch of stuff. You know, like how another good example, like during AIDS or during the whole experimentation.
Yeah, during AIDS, right? AZT was some like failed chemotherapy medicine, but he had the royalties on it, and he pushed AZT as the treatment for AIDS.
Yeah, but the worst part is
he killed like tens of thousands of people, and that's why all these people were dying of AIDS. These are all iatrogenic deaths from this medicine.
Well, not just that, but did you see the children, like experiments on children, where the children would refuse at some point to take the drugs, and they would get tubes implanted into their stomachs?
Oh no, but I believe it.
It's horrible stuff that just people just got away with, or I don't know, all the Waco, the fact that the first ever military use of airplanes was when they were bombing miners that were protesting. The first in the world. That's the first, and that was the government bombing its own citizens. And so all of these things, like AA would say that this is a legacy from the Victorian age of the higher classes that hate the lower classes. But like it's a mystery, and all of that stuff, it will all just kind of be there. It's like, yeah, it happened, so what are you gonna do about it? And yeah, no period of what was it, trust and reconciliation. So on that sad note, kind of we're gonna continue. We're gonna finish this. Go ahead, Laurento Esquivel.
Oh, very ambitious goal, considering how divided we are. Are we that divided? What would you have us do, Duchess Azaro? We're on shaky enough ground with Lesbia as it is. Of course, we should act sensibly, but we need to show the Republic and its new friends that Rizzia can hold its own. Let's bomb them. Oh no, let's stay here.
Maybe we could make a little demonstration of our military prowess in the strait.
Let's talk to Duchess Azaro. What are the security implications of this alliance, Duchess Azaro? We can definitely expect the Arcasian military to increase their presence in Lesbia. Oh, that's serious. Lesbia already houses Arcasian military personnel. Air and naval bases cannot be far behind. I cannot say for certain that all firepower will be directed against us in case of a conflict, but it does enhance the threat that Lesbia, and yes, potentially Palace, pose to our kingdom.
Let's go with Hugo now.
Hugo! Does this development pose a threat to the Rizzian monarchy?
Not an immediate one, Your Majesty, but we must be watchful. We have seen Arcasian-backed revolution succeed in Rika and Xina, and we do suspect the Shajons were communicating with Arcasia prior to the 1926 uprising. Kinal's ATO membership was already cause for concern 5 years ago, With Lesbia in their alliance as well, Arcasia's influence is present to both our north and our south. There is great potential for destabilization.
On the other hand, Your Grace, Arcasia has friendly ties with at least one monarchy. You may recall that President Dwight Walker actually boasts Rumburgian heritage.
Could we make him a king of Arcasia?
Let's see here. Lorento. Who's Lorento? Oh, that's him. What are our current relations with Lesbia? Where is Kinal? China.
Kinal. Let's see. We got
Your guy Hugo said that. I don't think we can look at the map.
Regional map. Let's see. Agar.
Okay, I thought they were on. Oh, there they are. They're 2 countries south.
2 countries south. Oh, yeah, Republic Canal. It's kind of close to us, actually.
Yeah.
Pretty serious. We got a buffer state, but.
Yeah, we gotta be friends with Morella. I think they're the communists, right? Yes.
Yep. Republic of Morella, out of many, 1. Military strong, relations neutral.
Well, at least we know they're not going to ally with Arcasia.
And they might help us against them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back to
the. Oh, it's
you have to click up top. I would categorize them as neutral but frosty, Your Majesty. Queen Liza's diplomacy kept us on good terms with Lesbia for a time after their transition to democracy. But things were beginning to sour even before the Pales conflict. We still maintain embassies in each other's countries, but I haven't met with their foreign ministry since before the election of their new Prime Minister, Alvarez. Maybe you should do that. Miss Warner, will this new alliance have economic consequences?
I'm sure it will, Your Majesty. Our most significant economic relationship with Lesbia is our partnership in the Meftium International Trade Zone. Having Arcasia behind them might well embolden Lesbia to push for a larger share in the mites, but they also have Valtlan and Morella to contend with. Lesbia using Arcasia's backing to strengthen its economic ties with Palais could also have negative ramifications, especially when it comes to the new gas field.
Oh, all right. What do y'all think I should do? Everybody began talking at once. Hugo motion.
Mr. Durlowanger grows like a cowboy hat, made of hair. And he's like, oh, it's back.
Hey.
Yeah. In my view, Rizzia should bolster our alliances with our fellow monarchies like Romberg and the rest of the Guild of Royal Allies for commercial exchange. Building stronger bonds with them will not only enrich us, it will counterbalance ATO's democratic influence.
This is true, but we cannot rely on grace to come to our aid in a conflict. For that, we will need to build up our military and defense capabilities.
I'd say it's more crucial to form new trade relationships with our other neighbors. If Lesbia becomes even more of an economic juggernaut in our region, it will upset the balance of power.
And I don't think we should ignore the opportunity to thaw our relationship with Lesbia itself. I, for one, would rather handle them as a friend than a foe.
We could ask Vina too. Look at this one. Actually, not the worst idea ever, right? Like she's sitting there, like typing. Maybe she's caught something interesting. If this guy's still present, Sal, for example.
Yeah, he can. I don't fucking care.
Yeah, let's do Vina, okay?
Pour the oil on me, Grand Wiseman.
Okay. Right. No, let's do Wiseman first. Yeah, we'll do Vina last.
Yeah. Anything to add, Grand Wiseman?
Well, Your Majesty, the teachings of Saint Ruhek compel us to exercise goodwill and compassion towards our neighbors. On the other hand, we must be watchful that Lesbia does not use its new international kural to to further the spread of the dust-nourished faith.
Any thoughts, my sweet pumpkin Vina?
We certainly don't want tensions to rise with Lesbia at this point, do we? But we don't want ATO's influence to overwhelm us, either. What about using cultural exchanges and other partnerships to spread Rizzia's own influence beyond our borders? That's not too bad.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
Minute, of course.
Actually, yeah, look at this one. But, I mean, money or not, we could just, like, send people. We could find people. And we got the money.
We should just empower our daughter. And just be saying, good job. No one else said this. Brilliant, Vina. Arcasia isn't the only nation capable of promoting itself through soft power. I have an idea regarding this. I'll bring it up at the meeting of the end of the meeting.
At the meeting of the end.
Yeah, right. It still works. Okay, let's see. Alright, here's what I think. My counselors looked at me in expectation.
Oh, look at this one. We got... Yeah, so let's go. I'll read it out. I think Hugo has the right idea. Aligning more closely with Rumburg and Grace will protect us from Arcasia's growing sphere of influence. 2. I like Elena's suggestion. Sealing new economic pacts with other Mecopan countries will help us become a regional power in our own right. I agree with Lucida that we cannot look weak in Lesbia and Arcasia's eyes. Our military intelligence should be our number one focus. 4. Laurento, you're right that it would behoove us to grow closer to Lesbia and ATO instead of making enemies of them. 5. You all have very good ideas.
That's boring. I don't like Laurento's idea. I don't think we should grow closer to people who want to make us a democracy and take our power. That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, everyone would hate it except for him.
I agree with Lucida. Our military should be our focus, and I agree with Hugo. Aligning closely with Rumburg should help, but how much can it help? I don't know.
They're far away.
They are far away.
I think Lucida's pretty good.
Yeah, alright. I agree with Lucida that we cannot look weak in Lesbian Arcasia's eyes. Our military and intelligence should be our number one focus. Yes, it should. The other suggestions are useless if we are unable to come to our own defense.
Strengthening our military and our relationship with Rumburg are, fortunately, not mutually exclusive. Mr. Esquivel, you had prepared an overview of our current geopolitical situation prior to this development. Would you care to proceed with that?
Certainly, Your Grace. Laurento walked to the chamber's back wall and pulled down a map of southeastern Merkova. What shall we discuss first?
Oh, you want to hear what's happening in Swordland?
Absolutely. What's going on in Swordland? Now that the Colonel has decided to retire, you mean? Colonel. His successor is called Evald Alfonso. From everything I've heard, he's Sol's exact opposite. What does that mean? Think sweeping privatization and tax cuts. Sol is forced out of power. More women in prominent positions. Although he has yet to pass the kind of liberatory reforms our beloved Liza did. Speaking of Liza, he's the one who first opened trade negotiations with Swordland back when it was still a kingdom. But Sol's disdain for the monarchy kept us from continuing down that path. The Alfonso administration, meanwhile, has no such qualms about royalty. In fact, his new development minister, Gus Manger, has already had personal business dealings in Rizzia.
This one. They're gonna join Arcasia probably then. Our friend Mr. Montoro of Rizzian Royal Gold has been making overtures to the Sordish oligarchy, it seems. Birds of crassly ostentatious plumage flock together.
Oh, man.
Wealthy commoners. That's 2 is like normal, right?
2 is very normal. I don't care about any. I'm not interested in any of these. Let's see here. What does Swordland want from us? Let's see if I can get my voice back.
That hasn't been disclosed yet. The country already has abundant gas resources. They could be looking to shore up their central bank with gold in the wake of Alfonso's privatization spree. I'll contact you once Alfonso has agreed on a date for his visit.
Isn't Palas the topic of the day? I was just about to bring up the Grand Duchy. Your father confided in me about your meeting with Duke Reinhardt, but he never told me what came of it. He wanted renewed relations between Rizzia and Palas, as do I. It's refreshing to hear you say that. I myself advised your father to speak with the new Duke of Palas, to no avail, of course. Compared to his brother Njolma, Axel Reinhardt seems far more amenable to a thaw between our countries. He wasn't even born when Rizzia and Palas were fighting, and I suspect he is beginning to see the disadvantages of staying connected to Lesbia. Interesting. Tell me more about the current relationship between Palas and Lesbia. The Grand Duchy has been heavily dependent on the Republic of Lesbia since the 1920s, Your Majesty. Our northern neighbor has taken extensive advantage of the natural gas reserves off the southern Polesian coast. Oh, that's very interesting. Lesbia has also relocated a number of its major corporations to Palas in exchange for extremely generous tax breaks. In addition to the resulting income, Palas has access to Lesbian technology and military equipment, which at the moment surpasses our own.
Okay.
Interesting. Wow, they're making some moves down there.
Yep.
Palas still has a Rizzian-speaking population, right? How influential are they? They are a minority, but a vocal one. They believe in the preservation of the Rizzian language, but they still consider themselves Palesian at heart. Duke Njolma's proposed Rizzian ban was a bridge too far for them. They seem to heavily favor his brother. Yeah, might as well. Where's Valgsland in all this? Does Palas have any relationship with the Republic? Not a friendly one. Most Valgish Palesians were and still are vehemently against their ancestral homeland's turn to socialism. In turn, the Republic of Valgsland has had nothing to do with its former colony since the Reinhardt's decision to seek protection from Lesbia. Back in the 1920s, there were a few attempts at marshalling support for a Valgslandian socialist revolution in the Grand Duchy. None bore fruit. I'm beginning to get a good grasp of the situation there. Are you leaning towards any particular diplomatic strategy regarding Palas, Your Majesty?
Whoa! Whoa! Let's see.
I'm not sure. What are you saying?
we got our minorities in place. Pretty good, right? uh, Closer relation is pretty good actually, because they're still part of us, right? They're like, military or not, we could just overwhelm them. We could just Zerg rush into their position, but then we would get open,
Lesbia would definitely
yeah.
see that as an attack on their territory.
I think if anything, like we might like ignore Lesbia, and then focus on the Grand Duchy of Palais.
Diplomatically or militarily?
No. Diplomatically for them, and then militarily towards Lesbia. So,
I like that. Yeah.
So So I think it's gonna be like 2 or 4, 2 or 4.
Yeah, 4 is kind of like a subversive push, while 2 is truly it's much more respect. Like, comes from respect. No.
Yeah, but 2 does not ignore 4. We could do both at the same time.
That is true.
I think 2, because we're gonna tell them, well, look, like Arcasia, they don't like monarchy, and Lesbia is with Arcasia now. So like, if you guys want to like keep being monarchs, maybe you should be with us.
Yeah. All right. I bear no ill will towards Palas. You're right that a closer relationship would be advantageous. Laurento nodded. It will, Your Majesty, especially if we need to negotiate ownership of the gas field near Elena mentioned during the gas.
Yes, explorations are still ongoing, but there's a good indication that both Rizzia and Palais could have a claim to the new resource.
Shall I continue? We need to talk about Velen. Of course. Laurento rearranged some of the papers he was holding. Relations with our one-time allies have been turbulent at best since the Civil War. The international unpopularity of the current president, Viktor Smolak, has only complicated matters.
It's the guy. It's the dictator. Do you remember in the first campaign when you went on your ate with him and then smoked?
More or less.
And then you smoked weed with the guy.
I was allies with him. It seemed like.
Yeah, but if you're allies with him, you gotta make. What happened, by the way? Did you complete it?
I didn't finish.
You finished it?
No.
Ah, man.
Okay, here we are. Rizzia wouldn't be without Lennon. Can't abandon them. Not a good look for us to remain linked.
Oh, maybe 4.
4 is a nice neutral take. I don't want to be mean to them for some reason. And I want our gold back anyways. My father made a deal with Velen on good faith. Velen so far has respected the deal. It's not wrong. One might see it that way. And they fought for us. Velen's access to Zia's land and resources helped bring it out of recession after the war. Smolak will have difficulty letting go of such a valuable asset.
Oh. 1 is pretty good, right?
Can we count on him to honor the terms of the treaty? Smolak is not as weak as he seems. It will take a great deal of time and effort before our firepower matches his. He may act bold. Currently, their foreign ministry is working in close cooperation with us, and President Smolak has promised to honor the treaty. In the meantime, any perceived aggression on our part may only give him an excuse to break it. I think they'll probably ask us to be military allies with them.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that maybe we should be military allies, but
I agree. I think that's fine.
So I think 3 is pretty good.
Yeah, I will act diplomatically with President Smolak. We will sweeten the deal. We can sweeten the deal if necessary. I will appease him until we get Zeal back.
Smolak's current focus is on eradicating terrorism by the Bloods, a Golkongist ethnic group native to Velen and Swordland. He's been very vocal about his desire for cooperation on that front.
Oh,
It begins!
the fucking blood.
The blood, man.
Not all Bloods are terrorists, Your Grace. Mr. Smolak is particularly interested in the separatist group known as the Bloodish Freedom Front, who have been rumored to be receiving support from none other than Romberg. I would advise against getting involved with the BFF.
Best friends forever.
Yes, do not get best friends forever. But Velen's isolation within Merkopa could be a strategic advantage on our end. For all his posturing, I believe Victor Smolak truly wants Rizzia as an ally. Moving on. When is my next visit to Velen? As a matter of fact, you're slated for a trip to Zeal at the end of this year, for the second to last Vezek Rizzian Friendship Day. Wow, it really is BFFs. What's that? Friendship Day is a celebration that's been held in Zeal each year since the treaty was signed. Since Smolak took over, he's used the occasion to trot out all the shiny new tanks Velen's oil money and United Contanen funding has bought him. That's the communist. Yeah. I didn't know they were friends. Interesting. Your presence will at the very least remind him of the occupation's temporary nature. I'm looking forward to it. I see no reason why Rizzia and Velen can't be close again. Circumstances have changed since the 20s, of course, but it's good that you are still holding out that hope. For now, I propose we move on with our briefing. I haven't heard much about the countries of the former empire of Moridia. Me either, I don't know any of those. You want to discuss Morella or Dirk?
Who's like closest to us? Let's see.
Morella. You can see it in the left of the screen.
Yeah, let's see. Morella, Dirdia. Yeah.
Morella just makes me think of Mortadella every time.
It makes me think of moles.
Okay.
Mole country. Let's go for mole
Morella.
country.
You've already heard about their new left-wing ruling coalition, correct? I have.
Yeah, let's go.
Hugo grimaced.
This new Prime Minister, Comrade Alma Sultana, worries me. Oh no. She looks bad. Morella's wrong. Yeah, she successfully united the country's left-leaning parties to form the Morellan Unified Front coalition, which replaced Morella's right-wing parties. Social reforms, okay, redistribution of wealth, horrendous. Lesbia and ATO are enough of a threat without the millennialists knocking at our back door. Number one, I agree, man. You can just look at East. Let's call it East Morella and West Morella difference.
Millennialism. Okay, you're right. Millennialism. Real menace.
Step over it. Step over it.
Let's go. As long as we remain on good terms with Morella, I don't care about the country's political leanings.
Their leanings do affect our relationship, Your Majesty.
Correct, Elena. Morella does not stand a chance of entering the Continent Security Pact, not with its current levels of poverty. Oh, that's interesting. But there are rumors that Prime Minister Sultana has been arranging meetings with Vuxlandian Chancellor Emmerich Hegel.
It's the Hegel's Girls Club. Oh no.
Oh, wow.
He looks horrified.
Reacher.
He's like, this is the... What's his name? The The guy that's like, oh, I want to taste burned flesh before one last time before I die. Respectable partisan.
Yeah. Senator from Iowa.
Yeah, blood something.
Okay.
He brings death. Okay, he's horrifying.
You think Hegel is trying? That's fine. Let's see here. I like two. Didn't Rizzia and Valxlin used to be allies? I had no idea. Lorenzo politely nodded. House Torres was close with the Valgos Empire, yes, but it's been 30 years since the revolution, and Chancellor Hegel isn't exactly nostalgic for the old days.
So far, our trade relationships with Morella have not been affected, nor has our partnership in the international trade zone. But Morella and Valxlin teaming up in that arena could potentially be more of a concern than Lesbia.
As for Morella's neighbor, Dirdia, our relations with them have become strained since the country's conversion to a theocracy. However, we still maintain a number of cooperative agreements, including our acceptance of Dirdian migrants as labor hands. I must say that their supreme wiseman, Jorge Asmal, did not approve of our ban on Golcondas pilgrims to Rizzian holy sites.
Yes, His Majesty and I discussed that ban prior to our ceremony in Bravo.
We made that ban, right? It wasn't already existing.
Okay. It was no. It was a ban that was a thing before because they blew up the altar.
What isn't our decision number 1? We're fine with them.
Yeah, but the Golcondas are like weird. I don't know. I'd say the 3 is like more important, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Plus, we say it should be reconsidered, not like implemented.
Yes, if the ban is harming our relations with Dirdia, perhaps it should be reconsidered. Yeah, the Golcondas are the naked Baptist people.
Yeah, and the gay.
Yeah. Yes, more or less.
I would not be opposed to replacing the Golcondas ban with one on, say, dust nurists. Oh, they may have a straight, gentlemen, but Golcondas and dust nuturists are both our brethren. I merely worried the growing numbers of Golcondas visitors at sites like Bravo and their rather physical interpretation of our religion were alienating the true Ruheshist believers.
I will point out that our stance on Dirdian Golcondas is far gentler than Morella's.
Yes, Morella hasn't allowed Dirdians of any kind into the country since the Meftium invasion of 1915, though the Dirdians most certainly have tried.
Sheesh.
Poor Dirdians, they can't catch a break.
Then how are Dirdian migrants reaching Rizzia? What's going on here? Mostly by boat across the Gulf of Mordian, though some are trafficked across the border and others fight their way in. Say what you will about Dirdians' beliefs, you can't argue with their weaponry.
It's a part of the warrior culture, Duchess. Their practice is centered on martial discipline and physical strength.
It'd be good to have a culture like that on our side. It will be hard to bargain with Dirdia without compromising our ban, but it may be possible. I should mention that the Dirdians' isolation is partially self-imposed. They are suspicious of nations that do not share their particular values.
You know, we need to have an imperial belief, imperial faith that goes above, that steps over all of these differences and says that okay, you guys can disagree, but at the end of the day, you're all Rizzians. You're not so bad, Dirdian, and you have like the Golcondas and the Dirdians that are sharing like a drink, surrounded by like bodies of, I don't know, Arcasians. You're not so bad. You know.
I mean, yeah, the religious subversion angle, there's just not that much mustard behind it. It's not an Arcasian front. It's not a Rumburgian front, you know?
Yeah, it might not matter in the long term.
It's pretty low on our priorities of things to stamp down. Among other things, these include a hardline stance on drugs and alcohol.
Oh yeah, so we can't. So if we like legalize everything, they'll be like, "Oh, look at this one. This is so good." This was like we gotta do it. I think because it's just funny. I think it'll just break.
But I mean, Rizzia loves drugs and alcohol.
Even as a even as an occasional wine drinker, I object to changing any of our country's laws to please go contests.
That's everything, isn't it, Mr. Esquivel? Lorenzo turned away from the map towards me. There is one more country we haven't discussed. Rumburg. Yes, our landlords. Our allies, Queen Beatrice and her country, are doing fine from what we're seeing. We are married to her daughter.
We were until she died during a boating accident.
Why, of course. Miss Werner had already mentioned the large amount of gold we export to the country through their strategic Port Grimm. We also have a deal allowing Rumburg ships priority access to our ports in Port Drazon and Monkey. We are, in essence, their gateway to the Antasians. Militarily speaking, the alliance doesn't mount to much. Rumburg will supply us with arms in case of war, but neither of our countries is officially obligated to come to the other's aid. I'd like to be allies with them. That'd be great.
What two?
I like 4.
Okay.
I don't want out Swordland. Does Rumburg want anything else from us? Maybe not from us, but the country's energy needs are insatiable. The Queen's interested in any country with oil or natural gas resources. In other words, if we do start drilling in that new field off Alice, I expect Her Excellency will soon come calling.
Oh, that's pretty good, actually.
Becoming one of Rumburg's main energy suppliers would definitely strengthen our partnership. Sure. It would, whether that's good or bad in the eyes of the international community, good enough is another question.
I will remind the Council of our prior conversation regarding ATO and the necessity of strengthening our bond with other monarchies, especially Rumburg. Fortunately, we have living evidence of that bond right here at this table.
All eyes turned to Vina. She looked up from the notes she'd been taking.
Yes, don't worry. Aunt Bea still dotes on me. I'm like the daughter she never had. Good. See to it that you remain in Her Excellency good graces. Oh, look at this 4.
It's fun. You heard him, Vina. Maybe it's time we arranged a visit with dear Aunt Bea.
Anything for the kingdom.
Hell yeah. Hugo glanced at the clock.
Was that all from you, Mr. Esquivel?
I did have one more proposition before we adjourn. I was quite fond of the princess's suggestion that we increase Rizzian's soft power outside of our borders. We have also spoken of the need to stoke pro-Rizzian sympathies in both Zeal and Palace.
He's gonna propose like a movie or something.
I would therefore suggest funding branches of the Ariana Torres Association in both of those regions. What is that?
What is that? Yeah, let's see.
The ATA.
It's a non-profit organization. Ah, it's our NGO.
Yeah.
Promotion of Rizzian language. Yummy, yummy. Yes, it's wonderful. It's our big money drain. Pretty good.
Cool.
Music, theater, arts. Yes.
Do you really think it'd be useful in those regions? Oh, undoubtedly.
I myself volunteered with the ATA as an ambassador for a time. I can vouch for its integrity.
Why would there be a need for it in Palis? If you truly intend to reconcile with Palis, strengthening the pro-Rizzian sympathies of the population is a good start. It's also a failsafe in case reconciliation doesn't work out. The more Palisians like us, the less inclined they'll be to attack us. How do you think it'd be helpful in Zil?
If I may, Your Majesty, there are children Venus Age and Zeal who have spent their whole lives believing they're Vezhek. If the handover goes as planned, we will need to remind Zeal citizens of their true heritage.
And if not, we'll need as many Rizzian sympathizers on the inside as we
I think
can.
everyone likes this, actually.
Yep.
Let's see. See if we have the budget for
Do
it.
we have the budget? Yeah. Yes, we have the budget.
We do, but expanding ATA into both Zeal and Place will be costly indeed. I like the idea. You could even give us an edge in upcoming trade deals, but I would advise you to choose between the two regions.
Palis.
I think we could look at this. We could do both. We got 8 budget.
Okay, both
Right?
it is.
There's no need to for frugality.
Yeah.
Let's expand the ATA into both Zil and Palais.
Let's go.
What is this? Mine is made up. I should not fund the ATA in either syllable. What if we could fund it in like a Rumburg or something? But yeah, okay, this is pretty good. Look at this one.
There's no need for frugality. Let's expand the ATA in both Zeal and Palis. I heard a sharp intake of breath from Elena.
Very well, Your Majesty. I'll allocate the funds.
Good work today, everyone. I think it's time we adjourned.
Excellent idea, Your Majesty.
Thanks for listening, everyone. I do hope I haven't been too much of a bore.
This is pretty good. 3. I think we can make a joke. We can crack a joke.
1 minute longer, and you would have had to call in the palace medical staff to bring me out of a coma. Lorento forced a laugh. Point taken. I'll make an effort to be more entertaining next time. He rolled the map back up and collected his belongings. I walked out of the chambers, glad to be done for the day.
Okay, look at this one. Whew, we can remove Golcon's blasphemy law, actually.
That's cool.
How much is that going to be? It's going to be authority, right? Let's see, where is it? Order. Provincial police. Anti-narcotics campaign.
What is the economy? Keep going.
Welfare.
Top one.
Ooh. -3 authority, wow.
Brutal! Everyone hates it too.
Mm-hmm.
We can't do that.
Maybe not now, yeah. Legalize illegal substance. Legalize nuclear bombs. We do see, look at this, that we have a problem with the...
Let's just do let's look at the new situations at least. None for law. Okay, that's fine.
Economy situations. We got a problem with the oil field. Oh!
We gotta build that offshore oil field.
Yes, in fact, order. If we look at this here, we got vibrant drug trade node.
Jeez.
Actually, maybe it's not the worst thing if we just keep it like as a drug trade node. That means that there's a chance that the mafia will actually want us to be in power, you know, because we're not touching them.
Good point.
Dissatisfied gold condists. Lack of order. We're gonna be a city states into chaos. What the hell? Local law. I think. What if we just become like the mafia state? That could be cool.
All right. Wait. What are the new diplomacy situations?
Okay, let's see situations. Lost territorial integrity. Small pro-Rizzia movement.
And go to the one where there's a yellow marker.
ATA operations.
Ooh.
This is why we're getting +6. Yeah, let's do the wonderful, beautiful. Where is it? Naval.
There.
Here it is. Yeah, seems pretty good, right? We can afford it.
Yeah.
Pow sign.
We still have a lot of stuff.
Wonderful. So let's see. This is 1 minute. Yeah, we got here Port Jason, include Lenin trade talks. Yeah, this is something that will look at this. Swordage delegation to visit Port Jason. Swordage President Evil Alfonso will be arriving in Port Jason Monday. In lieu of the Vice President, he'll be accompanied to his Development Minister Gus Manger. Do you remember this guy?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember him. I might have killed him.
He was just like he always wanted to privatize stuff. He'd always want you to invest in the rural countryside, and then half the time the investment wouldn't come to fruition.
Because he'd steal it. You want like this extensive geological survey initiative with this -2 authority, -2 budget? Maybe we'll do it at the end, you know.
That's
just in
pretty
case.
good. I like either this or building like a plane factory or something like that, or a ship factory.
Energy store facilities. Okay, cool. Yeah, or like, yeah.
What was the plus?
It was nothing plus. It was just -2 budget, but it's system efficiency. Surplus energy. Might be good. Illegal substance. It's just so funny. Like you could probably do like a lot of stuff here. A lot of very funny stuff. Funny, crazy nation stuff.
Yeah, like how much is build the factories for like the ships? I think it's at the bottom.
Buy military ships.
Nah, it's gonna be in construction.
Yeah.
Constructing.
Let's see.
There we go. Build military equipment factory, that kind of stuff.
Look at this. This build support factory. Okay, military equipment. It is -2 budget, -1 authority, -2 turn construction, 500 military. But I think we'll have trade, so we kind of have to like save a little bit. But this is pretty good. Cool. And then next term we're gonna have. I think this is enough for today.
Yes.
You know.
Sure.
Thank you so much, Hutch,
Thank
for
you,
being
Bobby.
here. It was wonderful. I'm gonna mount everything, and then okay. See you guys.
Goodbye.